Yeah. And there's a chevra in Hawaii. They want to fast 2 days.
I don't know. It seems the Darcha has the earliest man from all the.
But okay, we don't have that much to do now. We have a Ahmed, right?
We're 4 lines down from the where it gets wide is the Gemara. And then
Never stop Gershon.
Parrots, you heard that?
Thank you, Rapana. Okay, so Tana, so we learned.
Someone got to mute. Okay.
There you go. Okay, Tana, we learned. Naaman ger Toshav. Naaman, right? So he was a ger Toshav. He became because we discussed the gerus of what was his name? What was his name?
Where are you starting from?
Unclus? We were talking about Unclus.
No. Unclus was way back. 4 lines down. The guy who killed everybody out. What's his name?
Inspiration.
Yeah, Aspasianis, right? Thank you. So now we got into another couple of Gerim, Rishayim that became Gerim. Naaman ger Toshav. Naaman was a ger Toshav. So he wasn't a real ger. He wasn't a ger tzedek. He was a ger Toshav, which is all machlokes if they're real or not. It was Radon ger tzedek. It was Radon was a ger tzedek. Right? He was legit. Right? The grandchildren of Haman learned Torah in Bnei Brak. Shel Sisra lamdu tinoikus b'Yerushalayim. They taught children in Yerushalayim, and Bnei Banav Shel Sancherev lamdu Torah b'Rabim. They learned Torah b'Rabim. Man Inan, and who are they? Who were they? Shmai Vavtalion, who were the Gedolei Hadar, right? The early Tanoim. Hainu Tchsiv Nasati es Dama al Tzchiach Sola Levilti Yikosis. Hashem placed the blood on a al Tzchiach Sola, on a smooth rock, so it won't be covered. Right? Fine. Now it's an interesting. So somebody had the Ein Yaakov here, so I actually got to look at some stuff. So that he brings like how are these Rishayim Zaycha to such chashav einakla? I mean, right? Did they go for a bracha to Reb Chaim or something? I shouldn't make lisonis. I'm just saying, well, like what's a pshat? These Rishayim mamish that they were Zaycha to such chashav grandchildren. So he brings there from I forgot who that it's an unbelievable yisoid that Kiddush Hashem they all made a Kiddush Hashem because they actually lost to the Yidden. They never were matzliach. The Yidden outdid them. Sancherev, meaning the Yidden outlasted.
They get credit for that.
Because through them there was a Kiddush Hashem that the world got to see the power of the Rebbeinu Shalom, even with all the tzaras that they caused. Mamela, they were part of it, and they got some sort of schar for the Kiddush Hashem. It's a wild shot. What?
It's like this. It's totally offside. You know?
Yes, yeah. It's wild. Like because they started up with the Yidden, right, and they caused major tzaras to the Yidden. But since they were involved in the Kiddush Hashem, it works. And then they brought somebody in the footnote. They brought from Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky that he said, because I think it was Rabbi Kamenetsky, that the mitzvah, most mitzvahs, the action is what the schar is. You're not like a yid is not responsible for the result. We're mechuyev to do the action, right? You got to do the chesed. What happens with the chesed? The end result of the chesed is not our problem. But Kiddush Hashem is not like that. Kiddush Hashem is about the Maisa. And since they were involved in the Maisa, Memela, they were Zaycha to have such Einaklach, which the lesson to be learned is obviously, let's make sure we get involved in Kiddush Hashem and we can have some good results from that. Okay, weiter. Right, this is obviously going back in Bereshis. That's by Yaakov Avinu when he stole the brachas. So it says the voice is Yaakov and the Yadayim Esav. Akol ze Adaryonis Kesar. When he says the voice, that's talking about our Daryonis case of Shaharag Alexandria Shom Mitzrayim Shishim Ribuy al Shishim Ribuy. He killed in Mitzrayim, in Alexandria Mitzrayim, he killed 600,000 plus another 600,000. So 1.2 million. Kiflayim Kiyotz Mitzrayim, double those that left Mitzrayim. Kol Yaakov ze Aspayonis Kesar. That's talking about Aspayonis, who we just been we were discussing. Sharag bekrach Beitar Arba Meis Ribi. He killed in Beitar. He killed 400 times 10,000, 4 million. Parmila Arbas Alafim Riba, and some say it was 40 million. Right? By Yadayim Yudayesa Zu Malchus Arisha, that's talking about the Malchus Arisha, that's talking about Rome. Shechriba Espatenu, they destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, V'sarfes Eichalenu, and they burned down the Heichal, and they made us go into Golus. Yeah. I mean, it just tells the Chvar, if, let's say these, whichever numbers you go with, forget the 40 million. Imagine how many 4 million people from Beitar, multiply it times how many years ago was Beitar? I mean, the Yidden would control the entire world based on, right? I would think we would fill the entire world.
So I'm saying there were
million.
4 million people that lived in Beitar.
That's what it seems. Some say 40 million.
That's a lot of
You take
people.
4 million and you have how many generations, right? If you assume every 20 years another generation, you know how many Yidden you have from that. And we keep making the calculation with the Holocaust, which was 6 million. How many Yidden there would be, right? Granted, not all necessarily from. Okay, but whatever, it just brings out the tsar of it. Okay, Dover Achar, Kol Yaakov. There's no tefillah that actually works that doesn't have any of the children of Yaakov in it. There's no milchama, successful war that doesn't involve children of Esav. When the tongue is shut, you should hide, which means from lashon hara, that's what you should hide, right? So Rashi says that shut comes from the word shevet, which means a stick, right? Which I wonder if this line here is where the sticks and stones may break my bones, but names, what's it called? But names will never harm me or something, right? That's what it goes.
Yeah.
Because here Rashi is comparing the stick to lashon hara. That lashon hara can cause damage, right? Like a stick, right? Which really could have actually caused more damage than a stick. Okay, but that's right here. That lashon is that this line is talking about the lashon hara. Amar Rav Yudah Marab, Ma'ay dichsiv al naris bavel sham yeshanu kampachinu b'sachrenu es tzion. Right. There's an interesting thing that people are so maked to say Shir Amalas during the week, right? I mean, I'm on Shabbos and by Asuda, and nobody's maked on al naris bavel, right? It's the same shla, the same. They're both Shir Amalas and al naris bavel are both talking about the Churban Beis HaMikdash. Right, just different prakim. So, but for some reason, we're all makbid on Shabbos and Yom Tov, and not on the Al Naras bubble during the week. Some say you should say Shir Amalas during the week too. There's shitas like that. Okay, whatever it is, but it says on the rivers of Bavel, they sat and they cried when they remembered Tzion. Melamed she'ero HaKadosh Baruch Hu David. So Rabbi Shem showed David Churban by his Rishon, Churban by his Sheni. He showed him the Churban by Yisushin Shenem al Naras Bavel Shem Yishanu Gam B'chinu by Yesheni Tivsiv Zechar Hashem. That's the next pasuk, or I don't know, somewhere in that parak. Zechar Hashem L'bnei Edoim Esiyam Yerushalayim Ha'imirim Aru Adi Yisayid Ba'Peretz. You finally get a song of the Daf, right? So the first one is talking about the Bayis Rishon. The second one is talking about the Bayis Sheni, right?
Why would he show that to him?
Oh, that was thank you, Ryan. Yeah, so that means there was all these gemaras that we learned about how Eden was so bad, and that's why the Churban came about. What do you mean? David HaMelech was already shown before the Beis HaMikdash was even built that it's going to be destroyed, not once but twice. That's Yikasha Batson, right? That's what you're asking about. It was predetermined. Again, the same kasha that we have. It was clearly predetermined, right? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Amar Rav Yudah Mashmuel v'yitem Rabbi Ami v'Amri lo b'masnisa tana ma'aser b'dalet is. What do you say?
I'm saying just fits in now with when Brother Shalom showed Moshe Rabbeinu Eretz Yisrael, but he wouldn't let him go into Eretz Yisrael. So David HaMelech, he just wanted to build a base of Mikdash. That was what he yearned for and desired. And he showed him, you're not going to build the boat. I'm going to destroy it twice also.
Right.
But the problem will be that these shkotzim have kids learning in base measure. That's Gavaldi.
Yeah, it's a little rough. It's a little rough, which I tell you. Yeah, so let's see. So Maisa, so again, there was a story with 400 boys and 400 girls that were captured. Lakolin means for bad things, right? So the girls were going to be raped. They're both going to be raped. Girls, is we'll see in the Gemara in a second, the difference between them, but they were both going to be raped. And they realized why they were all captured. Amru, so they asked, right? If we're gonna commit suicide and drown in the water, are we going to Olam Haba? So the gadol that was amongst them, now I don't know who that is. It doesn't. I mean, is he a posek? It doesn't sound like it. Amar Hashem, right? Mibashan Ashiv Ashim Mitzulas Yom. Hashem said, I'm going to come back from Bashan, and I'm going to come back from the Mitzulas Yom, from the deep sea. Mibashan Ashim Mibein Shinei Arya. I'm going to come back from Bashan, from between the mouth, the teeth of a lion. Coming back from the deep depths of the water, those are the people that drowned in the water. Since the girls heard this psak from whoever this gadol was, they all jumped into the water. When the boys then said a kavachomer on themselves, and they said, these girls, it's the derech. There was nothing abnormal about what was going on. They were going to be raped, but it was natural. Right, meaning it was natural intercourse. Us, it's not what's going to happen to us. The boys who were going to be raped in an unnatural way. We should commit suicide. So they also jumped into the water. Because I think that's also a song, but it's maybe not. But we were killed, and we were like tzayin. Now there's a big tumult. We can't discuss it because we're
This not the heta for mixed swimming.
Rachamim. We'll let that one go. Yeah.
Whenever you want to go mixed drowning.
No, but this is a big tumult, and we're not really allowed to discuss it because there's no regular Torah allowed to be learned. Is suicide mutter to not be over on an isser? Right? It's really a sugi in Sanhedrin, right?
And how is that not a Tisha B'Av sugya?
Well, in the Kinnis, the Bali Taisus Paskin, yeah.
What do you mean?
The one Kinnis, they wrote the ones who killed themselves in England. And they killed their children. They killed their children.
So they're paskening. Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, so the Tosfos.
We had also Gemaras, no? About the first base of Mikdash, the Kohanim stood on the top and threw the key up to Shemayim and then jumped off the wall.
Right. Exactly. Where was that? In Brachas? What was that? Shabbos?
No, it was after that.
Rav Huna also. Rav Huna, was it Rav Huna, Rav Chisda? So, okay, the Gemaras in Avodah Zarah that talk about whether, meaning normally these things were arayas, right? So it's Yehorig Val Yava. So then you also get into whether they were Karka Oilam. Right? Meaning this was arayas, so therefore they should die.
Karka Oilam is only on the girls, not on the boys.
No, in this case it would be on the boys too. The boys were being raped. They weren't doing the Mises Nus. They were the equivalent of girls, that was the Kal V'Chomer they said about themselves. But it's a shaila whether suicide, meaning it's on one thing if you're threatened with death. They weren't threatened with death here, these kids, seemingly. They were just captured and they were going to be used, right? So
what's the issue of suicide? Isn't it Achas Dimchem, L'nafshi Seichem?
Yeah.
Well, the point of that is that I can't commit suicide because my body belongs to the Eibishter. But if,
Okay,
if
but
the
doesn't
point of
mean
the
that you-
suicide is to return it to the Eibishter,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
that's the whole point.
Right. I hear. Okay, we got to go weiter. But yeah, but that's the sugi from this sugi. It's a major sugi. Very Yehuda Amar Zu Isha V'Shiva B'nei. Right. This is one of the more famous songs. I'm sorry, it's not a song. Stories of all this Gemara. This is the Isha and her 7 sons. It's Yu Kamala Kamed the Kesar, and they came in front of the Caesar. Amrulay Palach Lavayis Chavim. They said to the oldest kid. I don't know if it was the oldest. It doesn't say it was the oldest. Right, just says one of the kids. They said, "Bow down." Amalu kasab b'tayra. Hashem alikecha. It says Hashem, I'm Hashem, your God. I'm not allowed to do avodah zarah. Afku, they took him out. Katu, they killed him. The Kesar. They brought the next one in front of Caesar. Amrulay, they told him, "Palach lavayis kachavim, bow down." Amalu kasab b'tayra. You cannot have any other gods in front of me. Afku v'katu, they took him out and killed him. They brought the next. Amrulay, Palach lavayis kachavim.
Why did they need to use different psukim?
So the Mefarshim discuss why it's very long. This long shtiklach in the Marsha and the Maral and all, which means I don't even know what they said. I'm just saying there's long shtiklach why they needed to. I looked a little bit to see if there's anything simple. There was nothing really simple. No simple pshat. Why they all use their own psukim. Yeah, so Afkuva Katlu, Asyu, Leidach, Amrulay, Palach, Lavez Kachavim, Amrulo, Kasabatari, Lestashtachave, El Acher. Don't bow down. Afkuva Katlu, Asyu, Leidach, Amrulay, Palach, Lavez Kachavim, Amrulo, Kasabatari, Shmai, So Hashem, Lakin Hashem Echad. Afkuva Tlu, the Katlu, Asyu, Leidach. They brought the next. Amrulay, Palach, Lavez Kachavim, Amrulo, Kasabatari, Viatata, Yem, Shavais, Elulech, Ki Hashem, Hu, Elikim, Hashemayim, Yivav, Alaris, Vitachas, Ein Oid. Right? Afkuva Katlu. Asiu leidach, amrulay palach lavez chavim, amrulahu kasabatayra es Hashem I say it hamarto hayim, v'Hashem hamirchaya. Kvar nishbanu lakadosh baruch hu. We already swore to Hashem that we're shein anam avirin oisay be'el acher. We're not going to pass him over for another god. V'afu nishbalanu, and he swore to us shein ma'aver asanu b'uma acheres. And Hashem swore to us that he's not going to swap us out for another nation. Amrulay Kesar. Ishti loch kushpanka. This is now here's an interesting part of the story. So the Caesar obviously got so desperate, he told the last one, "I'm going to throw my ring, right, a kushpanka, down onto the floor. The gachin b'shakla, you bend over and pick it up. Ki heichi delemru kibalale harmona demalka. People are going to say, "Oh, at least he bowed down to the king." Is it an emergency? If necessary, yeah. So it's good, yeah. 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 So Amralei, so he said, meaning, so all he wanted to do was show this Caesar had 7 kids who wouldn't listen to him to bow down. So it was a big slap in the face.
Was that
So
Osir? Was that Osir? Was that to
What?
kill us?
To do this?
For the person to go get the ring.
Yeah. So Rashi says, because on the ring he had
Avodah Zarah?
he had a picture of himself, so it would look like he's bowing down to himself.
That's Lifnei and that's public.
It's what do you mean it's an area? I don't know. But he wasn't allowed. I'm saying it looks like he's bowing down. So anyway, but that's how desperate he was. So Rabbanah, this is what we're learning in the morning Megillah. Right, so I forgot who you zustelled. I think Reb Chaim Shmulevitz zustelled this to Haman. So this guy was the Caesar in charge of everybody. He got slapped in the face by these 6 boys, and he was so desperate for a little covet that he pulled a scam to, not yet, leather now, no. So they tried to pull this scam that he would bow down. And Haman also had the whole world bowing down to him, except for Mordechai, and he went nuts because of it, right? So Reb Chaim Shmulevitz says one little bit of covet can mamish make somebody crazy. That was his mussar to take. How crazy you get from the slightest bit of covet. Anyway, so he didn't do it. So Amalei, Chaval alach Kesar, Chaval alach Kesar. He said to him, the kid said to him, "Woe to you! Al covet atzum kakach is if if this is for covered for yourself, this is what it is. I'll cover HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'll ask him a kama. Right? How much more is he going to have for HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So Afkul, so they couldn't convince the kid. Afkul and Miktale. So they took him out and they killed him. Amr lahu ime. So the mother said to them, Yavu nehele va'anishke purta. So the mother said to them, give him to me, let me give him a little kiss. Amrullah, she said to him, Bani.
They didn't kill him right away. The Lashon is they took him out to be.
You're right. They took him out to kill him. And then the mother asked if she could please kiss the kid. Amrullah, so she said to the son, Bani, L'chu v'amrullah Avram Avichim, go tell Avram Avinu, Atem ata akadatum mizbeach echad. You did the Yaakov Avinu. You did one carbon. Vani akadati shiva mizbechos, and I did 7. He also lagag v'naflo mason. Then she went up to the roof and she fell and she died. Right. So that's another suicide. The mother of the children is happy. Right, meaning that she was happy that she gave up her kids. Now her taina really to Avram Avinu, that she's better than Avram Avinu was a little bit of a different taina. Avram Avinu did it totally voluntarily, right? Where here they had to. They were mechuyev to. These kids were mechuyev to do this. All right, fine. Rav Shmuel Levi Amar Zu Mila Shenitna B'Shmini. This is talking about Mila that was given on the 8th day. Now there's a wild Rashi here. I know it's running a little late, but Rashi said, what do you mean? What's the Mesiras Nefesh of Mila? The Rashi 4 lines up in the left column. Oh, it's both columns, right? Zum Mila, Haragnu Kol Hayom de Zimnin Demayis. Because sometimes people die from a bris. So Memela, when somebody does a bris, it's a major Mesiras Nefesh. How often do people die from a bris? And if they did, why you give them a bris? I mean, if it was such a risk, from Rashi, it sounds like people died from brising. And that's
Suffolk Pekuach Nefesh. You don't give
yeah.
And this is specifically on the 8th day. If there's a sakana, you wait, and then it's not an issue.
And you're right. David, you're right. You see how long that we wait to make sure we don't give a bris. It's a while. The Rashi is pretty. It's an interesting Rashi.
I guess this is ammunition for all the people who don't like to paskin like Rashi.
I was going to say,
what did your uncle say? What did your uncle say about this?
I don't know. Yeah.
He says over here that really Mila on the 8th day is life-threatening. But the only reason why infants don't die through Mila is in the merit of the mitzvah affords them protection.
Who says that?
He brings down Chassam Sofer.
Yeah, but he brings down the Rashi.
Yes, Rashi first and then the Chassam Sofer.
Yeah,
but I understand. So then, why are people dying according to Rashi from bris?
No, it's life.
According to Rashi, it's life-threatening. According to Chassam Sofer, the mitzvah is protecting you.
So so Rashi's chaylik on that.
Would seem
the mitzvah doesn't protect.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I wouldn't say it's chaylik. He's using Rashi as a raya that it's life-threatening. It is zimnid demayis. It's rare, but zimnid demayis means.
What did your uncle say about this?
I don't know.
Jacob, you're dealing with this now with him, no?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know. We are usually very makbid. Anyways, okay, let's see. Rav Shimon Lakish Amar. This is also this is a makar actually for those people that get spooked out, right? That this is like Tamid Chachamim that show Hilchas Shchita on themselves. The Marsha says, when they want to point to the neck to show where the Shchita is, so Memela, that's putting their lives in danger. Al Tayin Hara, right? A person can show anything on himself, meaning use himself as a prop, except for shchita and saras, meaning don't point to the body to do these things because it's going to, it's ayin hara. It's an ayin hara. That's the way, the pashut way to understand the Gemara. It's talking about Tamid Chacham who kill themselves on divrei Torah. Rav Shimon Lakish, Rav Shimon Lakish, ain't divrei Torah miskaimen. No, you're not going to have Torah be mekuyim el b'misha mei misatzma eleim, only with somebody who's mei misatzma and then kills himself from the Torah. Shenemer zayis Torah adam kiyam esbayil. right? So the question is, what does it mean, mamus? It can't mean for sure death, right? That's obviously
I can't
not what
believe
it means.
this is the end of the Amid. Aaron Kaplan. I was going to tell you this before. I can't believe it's in the blood that it's a steer to say have an easy, meaningful fast. They're a steer to each other. If something's easy, it's not meaningful. It's the Gemara.
Oh, okay. So very good. Very good. So I'll read the lashon of the Shulchan Aruch and Yoreh De'ah and Hilchos Talmud Torah. Very good. It says, "Ain't," and this is mamish. It's not good for. We're about to start eating in about a half hour. This is not good, but okay, we'll read it anyways. Ain't divrei Torah miskayim misha misrapa atzmei leim, who softens himself. Aloi b'loim de mitoich idun, and not when you learn with idun, pleasure mitoich achilo shasiya. El misha meimas atzmei leim mitzar gufay tamid v'lo yitain shina la'ena v'tnu alav apav. Don't sleep, don't eat, right? And then you maybe be mekayim the Torah.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean to be fasting. It just doesn't mean
true.
to eat. It doesn't
Okay,
mean to eat
David.
that much.
Okay, should I tell you how much
No,
I'm going to
it's
eat
not-
tonight?
Okay, but that's because you're fasting. But on a
Right,
normal
but
day,
then,
you would-
yeah, but then tomorrow I'm going to complain that I don't remember today's daf, right? So the answer is yeah, because you ate like a fresser. You were a main besatzma on it, right? That's the answer. No? I'm talking about myself here. I'm not talking about anybody else.
David, the first 3 bites is to satisfy yourself. The next 10 bites is because we want to fill our stomachs. Let's be honest. After
100%.
the first 3 bites is
Okay,
nuts.
we'll be honest. We enjoy food, no?
Yeah.
Okay, Zevi, so we stop after 3, no?
No, but then all I'm saying is gesund to hate, eat it. But then tomorrow when I don't remember the daf, now I know the reason. I wasn't
Right.
That's all. That's all. Fine.
Rav Chaim didn't
Dad
remember
wants to
what he
come
ate.
back.
Rav
What
Chaim
time's the
didn't
time it's
remember.
over?
Rav Chaim didn't remember what he ate.
I know 5.
Correct.
Dad wants to come back. How long does it take for 3 bites? He wants the next stuff too.
I think that the 3 bites is just stam achila because we are halta v'savata. After the 3 bites, then you're fressing.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Why
Why don't we talk about this after we all have 3 bites plus?
I don't.
I warned
people-
you.
Why is Chevra so hard on themselves? You're not friends.
Wait, and the Seahawks
You're
last week
eating
were
like
good with
you're
that?
eating like normal people. You're just not like eating like Tanoim. What is that? I mean, what are you guys all geared up
I don't know
about?
what I don't know what a Tana ate like.
You're not eating like Tzaddikim or Tanoim. So good. So if you want to be a Tzaddik or Tani, eat like Rav Steinman. Well, most of us are not interested in doing that. So
Rabbi, speak for yourself.
Was it on the guy?
okay, Aaron.
Yeah.
He still have crumbs in his beard?
I didn't text my cousin that if after Chatzos tonight I could eat fleishings. Okay, I didn't do that.
I'm in Tsar.
I understand. I understand that.
Also, I'm being like Yaakov said, if you do things for Shabbos, so Paya Mez is a thing for Shabbos. So I
Right. Right. So it
all
starts after Chatzos.
So you have to wait till after Chatzos, that you can do right away.
Right.
Right.
Yaakov, you're allowed to taste the challah, no?
You can taste it after Chatzos, Aaron. You'll be all right. Okay. Arboim saw there's 40 saw. Now this on Talmud Aleph now. Arboim saw. We got to get to the 2 dots around 10 wide lines in. That's what we started up after. So Kitsutze Tfilin Nimtu Barashi Erugi Beta. Kitsutze Tfilin means the Tfilin cases that they found on the heads of the people that were killed in Beitar. Because back then they wore the Tfilin a whole day. So they found 40 saw worth. 3 boxes, each one had 40 saw.
See, Yaakov, I have to interrupt. I'm sorry because Yigdal Yadin, who was a big archaeologist, who was a friar, he found tefillin and Masada, and he became a from that.
Is that so? Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't find 40 saw, but he found tefillin. He said, "Oh, they didn't make it up in Prague in 1822. It was a Masada." So he said, "Oh, yeah."
Very Taka.
Yeah.
In the price that we learned, our boim kupa shall shalish son 40 boxes, each one of 40. For loy pligi had the ratio. One is talking about the tefillin sharosh, had the dara. One is talking about on the arm, right? Because the ones that are on the shel rosh is bigger than what's on the shel yad. You need to break your fast, you could survive.
Yeah, it's working like that.
What's the matter with him?
He's very everyone has headache and has nauseous. You said he can't even make snare.
Okay, so he doesn't have the Dhamma, which, I mean, it's 8:35. He can't make it another 10, 15 minutes.
He can't walk.
So he won't Dhamma. He'll Dhamma later.
This is what they mean when
Let
they
him-
say, "Oh, you should just wait."
Let him wait another. If he can wait for another 10, 15 minutes, good. If not, then let him break. Yeah, he could break it at 35 minutes after Shkia would be. So that would be at 57. 57, 50, 55. 35, 50, was it 22? 57. Yeah, 57. I'm sorry. Okay. Amar Rav Asi, Arba Kav and Moyach Nimtzu al Even Achas. 40 calves of brains were found on one stone. Ula Amar Tisha Kav. There were 9 calves. Amar Rav Kahana Vitema Shila Bar Mori Micro. What's the pasuk? Bas Bavel Ashaduda Ashri Shishalam Lach. Bas Bavel, who's Shaduda, who's how do you call it? Ruined, whatever it is, praise this who will pay you back. Praise is the one who will hold on and hold kids against the rock, right? Meaning what it is that it sounds like that they killed the people against the rocks, right? Meaning it seems like the people from Bavel, if you can call them people, killed kids or killed people against the rocks, so then the Yidden will do the same thing back to them. Fine. B'nai Tzion HaYikarim HaMusulam B'Paz. So the B'nai Tzion HaYikarim who were with Paz means like with gold. My Musulam B'Paz, what does it mean Musulam B'Paz? If it means that they were covered in Paz like this gold. There were 2 istri, that's a measurement or a weight of pisa that went into the world. One went to Rome. And the one went to the rest of the world, right? So it can't be that it was all in Eretz Yisrael. Ella show you, what they did is it means is that the kids from Eretz Yisrael were even nicer than this gold. The So the Chashuvim in Rome, they would take their rings, Kushpanka again, of their rings. They would take, Rashi says there were these beautiful pictures on their rings, and they would leave it in the room when they were having relations so that the wife would see it. And then she would have, since this thing was so beautiful, she would have beautiful kids. But after they conquered Eretz Yisrael, so they found nicer things. They found Jewish kids. Maisi b'nei Yisrael, they brought b'nei Yisrael, va'asri b'kari d'purayu, u'mashamshi. They would tie these handsome kids to the leg of the bed, and they would have relations with their wives, so that they would see, so that they would have kids that were beautiful. So one said to the other, meaning one Jewish kid, Yiddish kid, who said to the other kid, where does it say this punishment in the Torah? It's any chayla and makkah that's not written in the Torah, right? So meaning this is the one. It says that there are going to be punishments that are not written in the Torah. I mean, this is in the Torah, right? So he said, "Kama marchikna miduchta plan." Right? How far away am I from learning that piece of chumash? Amalei, ingit pusaso palga. It's only a small amount. You're only a blot and a half away from getting to those psukim. Amalei, if I would have gotten to that, if I had learned that fast, then I would have known myself where the punishment came from. Okay. I don't know exactly what that meaning. It just shows that the kids were so beautiful, and this is what the Romans did with them. My eye caught brought onto my nefesh from all the daughters of the city. So what is that talking about? There were 400 shuls in Beitar. Because in each one had 400 rebbeim to teach. And in each one had 400 talmidim. So the question is 400 a guzma or not?
Well, if there were 4 million people or 40 million people,
Right. So then these
that's
numbers actually add.
that's not the guzma compared to that.
Right. No, you're right. So that adds up. Yeah, you're right. Because when the enemies came there, they would stick the sticks into them, right? And when the enemy won over them and captured them, they wrapped them in their Sifrei Torah or whatever Sfarim they had, and they burned them. Right? So that's what we got up to. I wish we were ending on a positive note, but it is Tisha B'Av, so that's how we're ending Tisha B'Av. Bez Hashem, we should hear only Besudas Taivas, and shkoyach for everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow we go back on the regular daf cycle.
What time tomorrow? What time tomorrow?
What time tomorrow? Aaron Kaplan.
We allowed to talk about that?
5:40 tomorrow. 5:40.
Let's see, Yaakov. Did we have was there a Maisa with, I forgot who it was. Somebody I think he was blind. One of Tanaim used to sit outside the mikveh so that the woman would see the R of Torah and be mashpit.
It's Rabbi Yochanan. He wasn't blind. He wasn't blind.
He had long eyelashes, something, right?
Long eyelashes.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is, you see that there's a koyach of what they see either during Tashmish or before that has
Yes, that's true. Yeah. You're saying it's not such a freak thing what they did. Yeah. 100%.
Right. I'm saying, I guess they knew that there was a koyach. They used it, in a perverted, in a gashmistic way as opposed to ruchnistic way. But I'm saying it's such a Indian.
Yeah.
Oh, David left already?
What about Motzei Shabbos? We did tomorrow.
4 million, 40 million thing doesn't work.
Motzei Shabbos.
One second, guys. We got to figure out Motzei Shabbos.
You know we're having shit tomorrow, right?
I know, but we always do it Thursday night. We don't do it. We're always late on Friday. We don't have time, so we do it Thursday night.
Yeah, not every Thursday night's a Motzei Tisha B'Av.
We
were
so close to not fighting.
1:45. 9:45. 9:45.
9:45. I'll let Aaron Kaplan know so he can post it. Bye.
400.
I heard that in.
What do you say?
No, I heard that in.
You heard what?
Oh, he froze.
Did I freeze or he freeze?
No, he did. He's back. You froze.
I heard that in Panovich they would fast the day before they learned Chulin because everybody from the Gemara we had before, because everybody would show it on themselves. That's what I heard.
That's interesting. I thought I heard somebody told me that by some cipher before they learned Yavamis, maybe they all fasted. Did you say fasted? They fasted.
Fasted before Chulin.
I think I heard that about Yavam. I don't know, one of the Masechtas. Was it Chul? I didn't hear about a Chulin for sure. Not about, we know, like if you say, oh, this one dies, that one dies, something like that.
Yeah. Well, you said 5:45.
You ever hear of a minhag to bury the people? There's minhagim that people bury their kinnis after davening.
What?
There's a minhag to leave them in shul.
No, someone told me that there's such a minhag that people
according to Rabbi Klein Kaufman last night, he told us that growing up they kept the kinnis paper and it went in Sheamus. He says he was to Bruchen when they came out with the hardcover because that meant it's permanent. All the kinnis and Eicha used to stay in a box and go into Sheamus because you don't need it.
It's the same, right? The same principle, yeah.
I never heard that. That's very interesting. Yeah.
You know, you see an interesting thing here. The numbers of people, Yidden, that were killed was a lot more than 6 million. You know, you just got 10 million, 20 million. You know?
Sure.
It's like, people think this was. It was bad enough that happened in the Milchama, but it's not like we didn't have such a loss before. It's
and a Hanami, it's 100%, but don't make it any better.
No, it doesn't. Certainly, it's not. It's not a Nechama, no. No,
yeah, I've always disliked it when people do that. Rabbanim get up to speak. The Holocaust is the biggest churban we ever had in history. It's not even close to true.
Yeah, so that's it's
Well, I mean,
seems
it's
like
up there. Hello, it's up there.
it's good for business.
It's up there. It's up there. I mean, Gershon.
It's not. It was not good, but
No, I think
when
I
you talk
think there
about the
is-
terror of the Crusades, even was just as bad as the Holocaust. There weren't as many people around. People died of the Black Death left, right, and center. And then on top of that, you had the Crusades killing everyone.
that was my Joshua to the camp today because you had these guys talking about how we have to do tshuva, and I got up there and I said, I don't care how bad Klal Yisrael was. There's nobody that deserves this amount of punishment. There's nothing. It can't. That is not the cheshbon.
No, it's definitely not the Cheshbon. 100%.
You can't
100%.
say the stuff that went on in these Gemaras, these last two
That's
brothers.
that's a very important chinuch to give over because kids have to realize it. Growing up, you have to realize that there's a Rabbeinu Shalom, there's a cheshbon. It says don't take it personally so much, but take it as a klal. You know, we're part of a klal Yisrael. You know, this is a very important Gemara to learn. I'm sure I don't think it's really good for 7, 8-year-olds, but
Hey, Rachman, I've told Reb Tzviaka this before, but I don't think you heard it ever. When I was in the hospital with my leg issue, I went into septic shock. I was in both. Oh wait, Parrots, can you stop the record, please?
It's not recording. I don't think. I think he's
It is recording. It's still recording.
No. He's probably Dominic Meyer.
Yeah.
They
All right,
went
I'll
that.
say it anyway. No.